Infrastructure is critical to any nation's development. It is a key indicator in accelerating economic transformation. For this to be achieved, there must be effective financing. This is why the Securities and Exchange Commission of Nigeria powered a 2-day session to discuss financing of infrastructure in Nigeria.
Under the auspices of the Securities and Exchange Commission, we are having a roundtable to look at various ways of funding infrastructural development in Nigeria.
I just want to say that we're very, very delighted that under the leadership of the Honorable Minister of State for Finance, who is responsible for the parastatals that report to the Ministry of Finance, that we've been able to organize this workshop. We feel that it is very, very critical as we think about trying to ensure that we have the tools to support our nation in developing. As you know, SEC's mandate is dual. It's regulation, it's also market development. And everybody realizes the importance of infrastructure to transforming our economy.
You can also do something a little bit different when cases where the revenue stream from a specific asset is still not very clear, it's uncertain. A certain entity can just say, okay, I'll just back this bond with this other revenue stream from this other asset class, that this other asset is already operating and whose cash flows are easier to predict. So a number of alternative, let's say, on issues like this can be used, but even more creative. I think the governments must think of ways of alternative ways that go beyond just increasing debt. Things like making more use of revenue usage fees, toll roads, and so on. And toll roads is kind of the simple example, that many other examples exist of making sure that users pay at least part of the cost associated with building a certain infrastructure.
In the IFC, we also try to crowd in private sector money. So one of the things that we've already done, about, I think in February of this year, we as IFC came into the market and issued a Niger bond.
You rely on the rating of the bond, you rely on the advice from those who have reviewed the instruments, and then you buy and hope to sell on the secondary market, and you really are not looking beyond that. And typically you find also that before the expiry of the initial bond, so a fresh one has been raised to take out the old one, and the bid goes on. And but here we look at these bonds as from a perspective of how exactly they're going to be paid back, offer by offer.
As is often said, they say the devil is in the details. So by the time we see the details of the plan, then we will know whether and how far the plan actually goes in terms of really addressing our infrastructure challenge. So two things. First, there's a clear infrastructure challenge. Two, there's a need for a plan and an integrated, not just a master plan, but an integrated master plan as done. But then integration must also then entail integration of all critical stakeholders in the infrastructure space, including all the tiers of government and then the private and the public sector, broadly speaking.